Now that we've done some isometric drawings, we're going to learn how to do some orthographic drawings. The first thing I want to do is set my scale. The standard graph paper is 1 square on the graph paper equals 1/4 of an inch on standard graph paper. So we can see here is orthographically we want to look at things from 3 perspectives: our top, front, and our side views. So in this one, if we look straight down in a bird's eye view, this is what we'd see from the top view. From the front view, generally front is determined by the longest side or the side with the most features. We would see this from the front view, and here is what we would see from the side view. So from a simple part, the one thing that we're going to make sure is that our parts line up from each of our views. So from my top view, I'm going to see 3 squares all in a row. So I'm going to go up 2, over 2, and that's going to be my starting point for my drawing. This way, all my drawings will reflect off of each other. Now, keeping that same scale that we've talked about, my part is going to be those 3 squares. Each square is that 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to see that from my top view. Now dropping down to my front view, I'm going to go down 2, over 2 because my drawings need to line up and reflect off of each other. So what we're going to see here is this would be my point, and I don't have a cube there. So if I come over 2 more on that same one, this is this cube from the front view. So I'm going to start my drawing here. So that's this cube. Underneath it I have 3 cubes as well, or 3 squares from that front view. So what you can see is my drawing lines up from top to front. So this allows me, as we get more complex, to see the features. Now for my side view, I see these 2 squares, so I'm going to go down 2, over 2. So I'm going to do a line, and I'm going to draw those same squares that I've been dealing with on that same scale. So we can see here is I have my top, front, and side views. They line up top to front, side to front lines up. And if I do a 45-degree angle, which is a 1/1 slope here, I call that my line of reflection. You're going to see that my top view and my side view line up, my top and my front view line up, and also my side and my front view. Again, I would never make those drawings or those lines on an actual paper. Now, the way I would dimension this is, again, I want to dimension things where I see them most clearly. So I'm going to come off here, my lead line where I'm going to start my measurement, where I'm going to end my measurement. I already know my scale. I'm going to leave a gap. So 2 squares equals 0.5 inches. From my side view, I'm going to see my height the clearest. So again, start measurements, end my measurements. That would be 4 squares, so that would be 1 inch. Now, from my front view, I'm going to see my length the best. So again, I'm kind of going over those lines that we wouldn't draw, just show the lines of reflection. Where I'm going to start and where I'm going to end. That would be 6 squares, so that would be 1.5 as well. But because I have a feature in here, I'm going to have to measure out one of these. I don't have to measure them all because they're symmetrical, but one block here I have to define. So what I'm going to define that in my length is 0.5. So I use that existing lead line where I want to end measure. So that tells me that this, because we're symmetrical, is also 0.5. If it was a different measurement, I would have to define it as well, which also tells me that this is 0.5 inches.